Good morning. Welcome to Pastor John's Fireside Chat. It is Thursday, June 17th. I hope that you're doing well. I'd like to share with you a reading from the Gospel of Luke, the 8th chapter. Now, when Jesus returned, a crowd welcomed him, for they were all expecting him. Then a man named Jairus, a ruler of the synagogue, came and fell at Jesus' feet, pleading with him to come to his house because his only daughter, a girl of about 12, was dying. And then going on a few verses. While Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the house of Jairus, the synagogue ruler. "Your daughter is dead," he said. "Don't bother the teacher anymore." Hearing this, Jesus said to Jairus, "Don't be afraid, just believe, and she will be healed." I don't know if there's anything more devastating in life than the death of a child or a grandchild. And one reason is just psychologically we never prepare ourselves for such an event. We expect our parents, because they're older than we are, to die before we do. If you're married, there's a 50-50 chance you're going to die or outlive your spouse. Still painful, but we prepare ourselves for such an eventuality. But the death of a child or a grandchild just doesn't compute. It just isn't even on our radar screen. In my career as a pastor, I've had the sad duty of preaching at the funeral of a child or a grandchild. And I hear the same thing often. It isn't supposed to be this way. This just isn't right. No child should, or no parent should have to bury his child. And it just goes to reinforce we psychologically do not prepare ourselves for this kind of tragedy. Jairus must have been crushed when he heard that his daughter had died. He also was probably quite shocked when Jesus says, "Don't be afraid. Just believe, and she will be healed." And we might say, "Come on, Jesus. You don't heal people after they die. You heal them before they die. Once they're dead, that's it. We can't do it after death." And it's true, we can't bring healing after death. But God can. And God did. Listen to how the story goes. When he arrived at the house of Jairus, he did not let anyone go in with him except Peter, John, and James, and the child's father and mother. Meanwhile, all the people were wailing and mourning for her. "Stop wailing," Jesus said. "She's not dead, but asleep." They laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. But he took her by the hand and said, "My child, get up." Her spirit returned, and at once she stood up. Now, what a powerful display of Jesus being the master of life and death. And where we heal before someone dies, Jesus can even bring healing from the greatest enemy of all, and that is death. It was also amazing is that what Jesus said to Jairus' 12-year-old daughter, he will one day say to us, because we are going to die, but he will take us by the hand and he will say, "My child, get up." And guess what? We will. Because Jesus is the Lord of the living and the dead. And he promises that all of us who have a relationship with him will indeed rise from death and live forever as his forgiven child. I hope that that truth brings you incredible joy, but also a sense of comfort and peace, that we have a God who fights our battles for us, and he is even greater than our worst enemies, death, sin, and the devil. Have a great day in the Lord.